What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today when I talk to you about Canopy Growth, I want to go over some of the latest updates, data points, and everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So it is up 12.05%, having a pretty epic day. 154 the low, 193 the high, and a lot of volume. So 95.6 million shares being traded, 31.3 is the average. So starting off, broader market for the most part is kind of moving higher, largely because of this. So we did have some good macro data that came out. So ADP employment, so the weekly came in at 16.2 thousand, 2 rounds of non-farm payroll, so October and November. That was somewhat mixed, but then again, that's kind of what the market does generally want. And then retail sales came in slightly lower than the forecast, but again, that's exactly what the market does want to justify a rate cut for the upcoming January meeting. So all in all, pretty good stuff. And then on a side note, I guess unemployment came in flat. But when it came down to last week, we had that big rumor that caused a lot of cannabis plays to really move higher. So I've done a couple different videos, different YouTube channels, just going over how this potentially could be a very, very big deal. And I think just generally people were hesitant, right? We've heard this rumor time and time again that cannabis is going to be legalized and going to change the schedule and reclassified. Nothing comes to fruition. So I think people were very hesitant. Yesterday, we saw quite a significant consolidation, but today we have this. So Trump confirming that he is considering executive order to reclassify cannabis. So we, again, hear a lot of rumors indicating Trump is doing this and that and blah, blah, blah. Very rarely does it actually come to fruition. This right here is the icing on the cake. This is exactly what cannabis stocks do truly need. And so in general, this might be a golden opportunity to really get in, despite it going up significantly over the last 5 days, up 62.17%. If this actually does come to fruition, then this is, again, going to be the tip of the iceberg, and it'll go up significantly, a lot higher than this. One thing as well that did come out that I do find is relatively bullish is linked to options. So right now there's 1.9 million in calls, 310,000 in puts. 55% of all the options being done are bullish in nature. So despite it running up as much as it has, people still feel more upside is on the table. But from a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around 250 by the end of this week. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 150, but that's not the bullish thing I want to mention. So sometimes when market makers add more additional chains, it's because they feel that a stock has the possibility of going that high. So honestly, that's, again, a pretty good thing if you ask me, but Canopy Growth previously had, I think it was up to $4 for strike prices. Now they extended it to $27. So market makers actually do feel that it could go realistically to $27. So yeah, this is kind of crazy stuff. We usually see this type of action and this scenario play out right before a stock pops. So again, if we get some further updates from Trump and potentially the next steps, because again, I know a lot of people think that it's going to happen overnight. It won't. There's a lot of regulatory approvals that need to be done, but realistically, market makers seeing $25, $27 on the table is absolutely epic. When it comes down to shorts, they are returning 189,000 shares. So in among itself, that's also bullish, because if they felt today's green day was unjustified, they could easily double down, but they're not. So again, I see that as bullish. 9.71% of the free floats being shorted, works to be 33.2 million shares overall being shorted. DTC being at 1.15 days does really also signal that shorts are relatively overextended. A lot of big transactions occurring so far on the dark pool above $100,000. So some big ones, 6.4 million, 1.8, 1.7. So anything with a whole number pretty much is hedge funds. So this 1 million share transaction, hedge funds buying 60,000, 80,000, so forth and so forth. So a lot of big money is getting into not just Canopy Growth, but a lot of other cannabis plays. Right now with that 187 though, it is trading between this R2 and this R1. So for those of you that want to day trade, swing trade, just watch for 182, 172, and 163 to be the strong support levels, 188, 197, then 222 being the next strong target / resistance points. Aside from all of that fun stuff, stuff on the actual chart itself, this is where you see some crazy price action. And again, as I mentioned, I think the stock has had many of these types of rumors cause significant pops in the past, but very rarely do they actually hold up. This time around could be different, where we actually start to move up higher, possibly even where we were at 2021 levels, possibly. So again, you guys do your own due diligence and all the other fun jazz. It might be obviously premature to kind of start assuming this, but still, I think what has happened over the last little bit hasn't occurred in a very long time. So right now it is above all the key moving averages. So last time it's been above all of them and holding above it for 2 days was pretty much, looks like way back in 2024, or even during this crazy spike that caused it to go up quite considerably back in looks like beginning of 2024. So at the end of the day, you guys do your own due diligence and all the other fun jazz, but yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty good run in my opinion. So let me know your general thoughts on all that. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, if you're looking for some solid on-point buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, pop over to my Patreon. I actually did indicate Canopy Growth, Tilray, many of them as buy signals immediately once that rumor did come out Thursday. So yeah, pop over there, take a look. A lot of good things. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.